One of the greatest ways a man is going to sabotage himself in the family court system in a custody case is being overly confident. Now, this is something that I talk about all the time. The men that get hit the hardest suffer the worst amount of pain and tragedy in a custody battle or in a divorce case are usually the most successful men. And this is because they're used to winning. They're used to a formula of hard work, clarity, fortitude, fighting for something, having the grit to be able to persevere, make them win, and have them end up being out on top. And I'll agree, it can help them, but doing it the way that you did it in your business and how you won in the past is not going to be the same of how you do it in the court system. It is a different language and you need to understand it. So let's get into this one. Family court, child custody is a completely different animal, and you need to start learning to manage it in the right ways. One of the things that I say all the time are the men that get hit the hardest on this, suffer the greatest amount of mind-bending pain, are the men that are successful all their lives, meaning the alphas of the world. And why is that? It's because what gives masculinity its power is its drive, its fight, its ability to persevere through things, its ability to confront what is unjust and wrong, handle the situation right, and perhaps even how you manage your family before this separation is something what will work against you in the family court system. It can be read and seen as violence. It could be read and seen as aggression. And whether or not we agree with these things, I think they're absolutely wrong and misinterpretations of masculinity, and it's horrible. We need to understand that the court could see them this way. So the more that you confront, the more that you put your foot down, the more that you aggressively and assertively tell your soon-to-be ex that she needs to stop and calm down and stop making stuff up or being overreactive, this could work against you, and you don't want to do that. But there's a second side to this that is really important to understand. Overconfidence in thinking that your hard work and your grit and your burning the midnight oil is going to help you is not necessarily true. Now, if you learn to work in the right way, it will absolutely help you. But what you're going to think is that's going to study things on your own. That might be win the arguments that aren't really heard in court. A lot of times guys like this use their resources of friends that are lawyers thinking that's the smartest thing, but they don't have a dedicated legal team that they buy into. And this may sound contradictory, but this is a big deal and you need to pay attention to it, is that if you get a lawyer and you get the best lawyer in the world and you're absolutely certain of it, you just let them work the case. So let's go ahead and cover what happens if you get this wrong. And this is just symptomatic of so many men that are eagles, that are alphas, that are leaders that I see in their community, in their life, in their family, that just get hammered and screwed over in divorce, and you want to prevent these things. Number one, they walk into court with an aggressive demeanor. They think they know everything. They have arrogance and cockiness, and they think that's going to play out. They think they have a plan, which might involve witnesses or different testimony or different pieces of evidence, but they haven't actually researched on how that is going to help them in the court system. These things get thrown out by the judge. They don't get listened to. They didn't do their research on the judge. They didn't see that the judge doesn't care about these different things or looks down upon them. They thought they could organize their evidence and hard work and what seems like organization in their company, corporation, or how they normally talk to people, but it doesn't fit in how the court needs to have things presented. Oftentimes they'll also get a lawyer that is super aggressive and sells them on the idea that they're going to fight for them, but is ultimately lazy in court and doesn't do their job. Now you might be thinking this is impossible. You're basically saying this can't work. So let's look at the solutions for these different things. So number one, you need to first and foremost understand what is going to determine whatever it is you're going to court for. If that is property division, how is property divided in your state and county? You need to Google it, you need to ChatGPT it, you then need to run it by your lawyer. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, Google and ChatGPT is not always the most accurate thing. It's just going to help you with your guide, your verbiage. It's going to help you with the general language of things, but the specifics, I think, need to be researched in the court or with attorneys. People who are actively arguing these things is going to be the best way to get the best answer on this. I would highly recommend to look at attorneys who are in court a lot, who are arguing cases and who are in front of a judge a lot. Now, you want to avoid all courtroom stuff just because the court becomes the Wild West. It's expensive. It's how things get all crazy. But you have to also realize that if anything is solved in mediation, it's going to be because it would not be worth it to present that idea in front of a judge. What that means is that attorney's last card that they have to draw in this argument, in this deal, is that, hey, let's put this in front of a judge. If you have an attorney who has not been in front of a judge, who is not aggressive in this way, who's not used to fighting all the way to an end, then that that attorney is not going to fight for you. So start consulting with attorneys who are going to court regularly. Now, hopefully they're winning, but it's more important that they are willing to go to court, be in front of a judge, than just to win all the time. Winning is important. It's very important. But if your attorney is afraid to go to court and basically caves under that, they're going to talk you into a settlement that is not going to favor you more than likely. Now, this is really important. Judges and attorneys hate being given legal advice. If you're an aggressive person, if you're a stand-up person, you're going to be used to telling people what to do. And technically, your attorney is working for you. Now, you need to be a little bit more diplomatic. And so when you start telling your attorney what these laws are, or you watch this guy on YouTube, or these different types of things, you're just going to piss them off. You're going to make them not want to work with you. One of the things that I help guys work with is how to organize evidence, how to look at it, how to determine what your attorney needs and start doing that work for them. This is going to help in a couple ways. It's going to help, number one, in making your attorney's job easier, and it's easy for you to work with them. You want your attorney to be working with you. You do not want them pissed off and frustrated every time they open your file and figuring out ways where they could talk you out of it so they can go on a fishing trip or whatever. You do not want them. You want them excited to work on your case. Now, in addition to that, you're going to start to understand the laws better, understand how the courts work better. And that is going to help in so many ways. It's going to help structure and strategize your case. Your attorney's most likely, if they're good, overworked. You're going to be able to help them with different things without being condescending. But more importantly, you're going to catch mistakes that are made by opposing counsel when they file something, or your counsel when they make a mistake here and there. That happens. I get it. It shouldn't happen, but it always happens. It almost always happens. So you need to be on it with that. Now, if you're representing yourself, you also need to understand that you do not tell the judge how the law works. If you're going to do that, you need to present that in the right way that the court is going to hear that. Now, that is a long, long conversation, and hopefully I can make a video breaking that down. There's guys in my group that do it all the time. They represent themselves, and they're able to make a presentation in front of a judge. Man, that's hit or miss. That's a big risk, but a lot of them are able to pull it off. And let me tell you, it might make you a lot of enemies in the family court system, but it might get you the justice that you want. The last thing that I'm going to tell you is you need to be around other men that you can relate with, other men that are go-getters, that do it, that have success repeatedly in their life. They're able to adapt their fortitude, their will, their clarity into a different language like the court system, and can help you go through it. I know you want to win if you're listening to this, so I'm telling you how to win. You need to start looking at a different language of the court systems and getting there. I'm going to be real with you right now. If you're in a high stress situation, if you have your family on the line, if you have your future on the line, if you have the rest of your life's finances on the line and your well-being and happiness, you need support. My group is going to do that at the entry-level point, at the bare minimum of the average divorce cost in the United States that doesn't even have conflict. We are going to help you knock $10,000 off of that price, comparing the average of our clients. If they work with me and work with our group, which is going to give you 5 days a week of support in our calls, it's going to give you a 24/7 infrastructure to reach out and work with guys who are going through this. You're going to work with me directly, and you're also going to work with just our whole alumni of guys directly on this. You are going to come out on top. Now, if you already have your back against the wall, you're getting screwed in this, and you can't understand why the court system is unfair, and you have rulings against you, we're going to help you reverse those if they can, or get you back to safety. We're going to guide you through every step of the process, mentally, emotionally, legally, and the group is just going to pay for itself within the first couple weeks of being in it. Check out the links down below. It is The Rising Man. It's going to help you stay strong. It's going to help you stay alive, mentally clear, and this is all so that you can be the best dad possible in a world that has a broken culture. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.